What's up, everyone? It's Q from Retro Q Gaming, and we're going to take a quick look in the physical realm of an actual little headset real quick. So first off, the reason for that is I want to go over a couple of the actual little things and all. It's not a full unboxing, but it does involve a couple of things specific with the headset, as well as that will come into play a little bit further into the video when we talk about the actual features and quality of it and all too. So that's pretty much it. Just want to throw in one other little thing at the start, as usual. I paid for this headset myself and wasn't asked to do this or offered to do it, anything like that. I figured with the price and the alleged quality and all at the time, I figured it's pretty much a no-brainer for me to get and just to have for myself kind of thing. Always nice to have, but yeah. Either way, we'll move on to the actual video anyway. So basically, the main reason we're doing this is we're going to take a look at the Astro A40. And this is the Halo Edition Xbox One A40 with the M80 mix amp. So it's basically, we have the whole thing there. It has the Spartan Lock design. I love the Spartan Lock design. You can get the A50 Halo, which is the wireless version, which comes with the Master Chief design. It's a green with the orange trim instead of the silver with the blue trim. Well, Spartan Lock versus thing. I kind of prefer this one. I do like the actual the Spartan Lock controller a bit more than the Master Chief controller, but at the same time, Master Chief is just a beast. Spartan Lock's a bitch in comparison. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, I bought all this myself with sale and all that kind of thing. This one is dedicated for the Xbox One. It will also work with standard stereo adapter stuff. We'll go over that in a minute. This particular one, because it's the Halo one, does come with a Halo 5 special requisition pack. We'll zoom in and have a quick look. You have it there basically. Came with the requisition pack. I redeemed the requisition pack and it gives you a couple of individual stuff, some weapons, some skins, and there was an Astro logo for your little player emblem thing anyway. So there's not much to see when it comes to the box. This isn't this little straight unboxing because I have been using this for a while. Pretty much everything you come with it. The M80 mix amp, the one that actually comes in this box, is used, you'll see the little picture of it just here. So it is fairly small. You can see it on there, it plugs directly into the controller. So it's nice and small. I know you can get the A40 with the TR2 Pro mix amp. And that's the bigger one, the one that works off the Dolby Digital connection or your DTS, whichever, if you're doing with the optical cable. And yeah, so it works from there, and obviously the other mix amp has a bunch of other ports and stuff like that as well. But we're going to go in with shaky cam for a second. So let's take a look. We unbox this real quick. Like I said, the purpose of this wannabe semi-unboxing, we'll call it, I suppose, is simply because it's going to go over one or two of the things that's going to come up into the actual video with quality and stuff. Because once we quickly go over this, I'm going to switch back to footage and all, just while I actually talk about it, instead of, show you what's actually here. So, what side are we opening this? There we go. Now, so we'll pop this open. Obviously, I have used this before. Okay, it's falling all over the place. That's a great start. I usually do put it back in properly, but whatever way I opened it and all as well, we'll leave it there. We won't worry about all that until we go through it all individually. So first off, what we have here, now this is the M80 mix amp, okay? So it's the M80 mix amp for the Astros. Plugs into the proprietary Xbox One controller. So this guy sits nice and flush into the bottom of my Xbox One Elite controller. Goes pretty well, doesn't get in the way of the fingers or anything like that. It's pretty nice in that sense. The 3.5mm cable is embedded into the back of it. Obviously, we have the 3.5mm jack with all the rings and all as well for all the extra features and all the crap that can come on. Basically, all the controls are actually on this as well. So you can see it on the left here, you've got voice, you've got game on the right. So that's for fading between the two. Obviously, all this little bar here is all LEDs. So you can fade between them and all. This is the equalizer button, quickly swaps between what's basically all treble, good mix of treble and bass, and then a good mixture of heavy bass and lighter treble. That's pretty much. Oh yeah, there's the volume wheel and the mute button. It's on and off. It's pretty standard stuff. So as you'd expect, the actual. There we go. the actual A40s themselves. So like I said, these are the Halo ones. They do have the Halo design and the trim on them with the silver and blue, as opposed to the standard color variants of them. Or if you get the Call of Duty variants on the Xbox One, are actually white and red. But, you know, I like these ones. So now these do retail for €250 where I work. And these ones were on sale. We're having a big Astro sale at the time. And I said, fuck it. With the amount of money, these are like half price. So I did pick them up anyway. And obviously with a staff discount, it worked out a little bit nice. So one thing I will say is, right, here we have the actual 3.5mm jack. So that's where that plugs in. So this one usually, now this is where it comes in as well. So these usually, the microphone on them starts on the left side. Now I'm a guy who has my microphones always on the right. My Xbox 360 headset has always had the mic on the right. My PS4 headset has the mic on the right. My Xbox One headset, the official one, I always wear it with the mic on the right. So when I found this on the left, okay, I looked into it a little bit. This is one of the nice customizable things about the Astros. These pop right off. They're all magnetized. And you can see here, this is where you can pop in the microphone. So the microphone literally pops out. You swap the plates around, back in. It's all magnetized, pops right back in, nice and secure. And you can put it on the other side. So it's just like that. Pretty easy. That's pretty much it. It's nice and adjustable. It is fairly comfortable, especially with they've got a felt rather than most of them have like a leather cushiony feel and all that kind of thing, but these actually have a felt-ish kind of feel on them. It's nice for long periods of time, but we'll talk about that anyway a bit further down the line. You don't get much in the way of accessories. Like I said, we already had the requisition pack. It's just in here with all the paperwork. There's no need to go over that stuff. It also comes with a standard 3.5mm cable. So, as you expect, 3.5mm cable. One end goes in directly into the headset instead of the mix amp. The other goes into whatever device you're using. I do sometimes use this for my PSP. I've been playing a lot of Valkyria Chronicles 2, so it's come in nice and handy for that. It's not a powered headset, it doesn't require any batteries or rechargeable batteries or anything like that. So this does turn in really nice for that. I'm after in the camera. We'll go into the quality and all that a bit later in the actual video itself. This is just a little micro USB cable that comes with it in case you need to update your controller, because depending on when the last time you updated your controller was with the Xbox One or when you bought it, the actual firmware might not support it. So yeah, it's pretty much it. That's basically it. I'm going to box all this back up. We're going to go talk about it and switch back over to gameplay footage. So that's pretty much it on the basics of the Astro A40s and the M80 mix amp that came with them. So you've pretty much seen all the stuff that comes with it and gone over all the basics that were there in the sense of the buttons, the layout and what they do and the basics of them and all that. So what that actually translates to and what it means. Okay, so first off, I'm just going to go with the comfort level. Naturally, with big headphones and big headsets and stuff like that, headset fatigue is a very real thing. And I personally am one of the people who, as soon as I start feeling uncomfortable with a headset and uncomfortable wearing a headset after a serious period of time, I'm done. That's it. It's off and I'm completely out of the game. If I don't take it off, that is, I'm completely out of the game, and I've lost focus. I'm very aware that it's annoying me, that it's maybe hurting my head or dragging my neck back, whatever, and that just kills it for me. I have to like finish the game, hit a checkpoint, hit a save point, or just turn it off, whatever. I'm done at that point. So one thing that's really nice about the Astros is the comfort and the sturdy feel while having kind of a lightweight design. So I do like that. Like I said, when you look back earlier in the video for this one, you could see that the actual ear cups were more of a soft felt rather than say leather cushions or anything like that. I do enjoy the leather cushion ones as well. There is a mod kit available for the A40s that actually replaces them with noise cancelling, fully sealed leather ear cups. Can't be bothered paying for that. But yeah, it's just in these ones, they're semi-closed and they're soft felt, which is pretty nice for just
say wearing on an extended period of time, they don't pinch. I have a fairly big head, and they don't pinch against my head. They don't press in against my, the areas around my ears for a long period of time. So I can actually play with these comfortably for several hours and not have to feel like I'm aware that I'm wearing a headset and that it's annoying me, that I have to keep adjusting it or moving it. I don't have any problems like that, which is obviously a very, very beneficial thing. They're, in the same sense, they are fairly lightweight, but they do still have a bit of a sturdy enough, relatively sturdy, I should say, feel to the actual headset itself. So it doesn't feel flimsy, in my opinion at least anyway. Some people have said it does. I don't think it feels flimsy. And it just feels good in both in the hands and on the head at the same time. So yeah, it's pretty nice when it comes to that part of it as well. One of the other things I'll mention, because it's close enough to the ear cups, is that you saw at the start when I was going over the actual headset themselves, the actual panels they're magnetic in, or magnetized in, they're magnets essentially, and you can clip them out as I showed you in the video, and you can use that to either take the microphone off or switch it around. Now by default my ones came with the headset on the left. All my other headsets that I always use, like my 360 headset, my Xbox One basic headset, just the chat one, my basic chat PS4 headset, they all have the microphone on the right ear. And okay, that was one thing I had to change, because I've been building up over like 10 years of habit that I bite my fingernails a lot. So I'll be playing and I'll quickly lift my left hand up to like scratch my nose or something, or bite my fingernails or whatever. I'll hit the microphone. So naturally I had to swap it over. It was so easy to do that, and the ability to do it is great. The fact that the jack is actually hidden under, and the panels, just you pop both of them out. You saw it, I did it in the video basically. You pop both of them out, rotate them over, put the mic in on the other side because the connector is already there, and that's it. It's just transferred straight across, and it's great just because of that. There's not really too much else to cover as far as the actual specific headset itself goes. But what I do like about it is the mix amp, the M80 mix amp. Now, I was a little bit, I won't say wary, but I was a little bit aware of the difference between the two types of mix amp that are available. So there's the M80 mix amp for the Xbox One headsets, which is the one I have. It plugs directly into the bottom of the controller, and then the headset, there's a cable that comes from that plugs into the headset itself. So naturally it's a wired headset, as you'd expect. There is a different one. It's if I remember right, it's a TR2 Pro mix amp, I think it's called. I think it's the full exact name for it. That one has a lot more customization and a lot more features and inputs and outputs and things like that. It still has the ability to blend between the actual game sound and the chat volume, or the priority of the chat sound, whatever you want to call it. But like I said, the other one, the TR2 Pro, has more inputs and outputs. It's got a digital optical input, it's got a USB input, it's got like other, I think it has standard RCA inputs. I'm not 100% sure on that one, but I know it's got like external 3.5mm jack inputs and things like that, just for all sorts of other things. I wasn't worried about that, mainly because there was such fantastic value on this one. And I'm not really worried about the fact that it would have been a fully wired headset in the sense of the TR2, because it would have been nice to have the full digital input to it. But at the same time, I'm cool with it just coming from the Xbox One controller into my headset. I like that. It's definitely really handy. I did spend a lot of time getting used to the actual M80 mix amp, in the sense of what equalization settings I liked, what kind of balance and volume, like balance between game sound and game sound and chat sound that I like, as well as the same with the actual volume levels. It's all really, really easy to use because it's right on the actual mix amp, which is basically at your fingertips because it's connected to the bottom of the controller. And that's just really handy in the sense that you can quickly hit mute, you can quickly change the volume, you can quickly change the equalization settings, the balance. It's literally right at your fingertips because your hands are on the controller. You just move your thumb or whatever your hands, whatever way you want to actually use them. It's right there. It's so easy to use and it's really good. I'm really like that. I have used one or two different headsets in the past that have had inline controls, which were like my main PS4 chat headset has inline controls. So naturally, if I want to change the volume, or if I have to sneeze or mute or something real quick, I have to take my hand off the controller, reach up and down the cable to try to find it, and then boom, I have to do that. That's really annoying. I don't like that. It was one of the reasons why I really liked the original Xbox 360 headset as well as the original Xbox One headset. The original Xbox 360 one, you plug it into the bottom of the controller, the mic volume was a little rotator wheel and the actual mute was a little switch left or right, basically connected to the bottom of the controller. Original Xbox One chat headset, exact same thing. Plugged into the bottom of the controller, you have your two volume buttons up and down and your mute button, they're right there, right at your fingertips in basically the same place the M80 is. One thing I will say as well with the M80 mix amp, it's nice and handy when you've got when you actually mute it, the volume, the front of the volume wheel actually glows red. So even if you're looking forward at the TV, you can still see it in your peripheral vision that you've actually muted your mic, and you don't go for 5 minutes without your friends just not being able to talk to you, or you not being able to talk to them because you've got it muted. I have a friend of mine who basically, like, almost every night that we play games, there's usually maybe one or two incidents where he accidentally has his mic off for, I don't know, sometimes it can go up to 10 minutes, and eventually we'll always call him out and be like, yeah, is your mic off? And then suddenly you just hear a little click, oh shit, yeah, sorry, I was wondering why no one was answering me, that kind of thing. So yeah, that's a nice extra little benefit on there. The sound quality is something that is pretty important when it comes to not just Astro headsets, but just headsets in general. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Now, one or two things I will say is that I've never been on the receiving end of this particular headset, at least anyway, on the actual receiving end of the voice of it. Now, what I mean by that is I've never been in an Xbox Live party where I know someone on the other end is using this particular headset. So the reason why I bring that up is that many of the people who I've tested this headset with and I've played games and all with, I've always asked them what the difference between the headsets, what it sounds like, the clarity, the volume. I'll switch back and forth between them to get an opinion off them. The general consensus is that the Astro headset is a louder headset. So when I talk, it has, they say it sounds louder, but it's slightly less clear. Now, they still say it's perfectly understandable, but they just say it's slightly worse than the standard kind of Xbox chat headset. I've heard this from multiple different people, and they've all given me pretty much the same feedback with no suggestion from me beforehand. I don't ask them, like, does it sound louder than the other one or anything? And I've swapped back and forth between the headsets, and they all pretty much say the same thing. And now, having said all that, it's not like the actual volume, or sorry, not the volume, it's not like the clarity is bad. They say if the standard Xbox chat headset, if that is a 10 out of 10 in clarity, they say the Astro is like a 9 or a 9.3, 9.5, so it's almost as good. So it's still, and I don't know about you guys, but if you use the Xbox Live Party chat on the Xbox One with the default chat headset, the codec and the quality is actually good. It's actually really, really good. So when you think how good that is, if you can get something almost as good as that, it's still pretty damn good. So that's pretty much how it goes on that. The listening sounds of it for the voice chat is pretty good. It's pretty much the same as the other side of it. It's pretty good, especially in the sense of how customizable it is with the fade over on the mix amp. So you can quickly just back, if you want to hear the more volume from your actual chat, you can just press one or two notches up. If you want to hear more volume from the game, you can press one or two notches up in that direction, and it comes in handy. There are one or two levels of it where I find it's too low, but obviously that varies on everyone, and they're basically the lowest settings. The lowest setting is no voice chat. and the next like two up aren't good enough because the sound of the actual games overpower the voice. So within like setting maybe 3, 4, 5, and 6. There's many settings now. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but it's about 15, I think, give or take. But yeah, the like notch 3 to 6 are the sweet spots, depending on who you're playing with, how loud they talk, the overall volume you're using, and the game you're playing as well. So it's not a perfect catch-all. It's not always going to be a 3. It's not always going to be a 6. It's not always going to be a 4. Not always going to be a 5. Sometimes you will need to go higher. You might need to go like notch 10 or whatever, it just depends on the game you're playing, person you're talking to, the headset you're using, their general volume, and the game you're playing and all as well. So we're going to move on. There's basically 2 more things I want to talk about with this headset anyway. Hopefully they won't go on too long, because this video has gone on way longer than I originally planned. And the main one is the one that we're going to come up now. So basically, as you'd expect, the actual sound quality from the headset is pretty damn good. So that's the main thing we're here for. Now, when I say the sound quality, naturally I mean the actual in-game sound, the in-game music, the actual quality of that. Since I'm using the Xbox One version of this headset with the M80 mix amp, which obviously plugs into the Xbox One controller, it is a stereo headset. The main reason for that is, well, simply it runs off a 3.5mm jack, and it's coming from the basic one from the bottom of the Xbox One controller. And because of all that, it is a stereo headset. Obviously, when you're playing with stereo versus surround sound and all, there are trade-offs and differences. But the main thing is that even playing in stereo, there are slight surround sound effects to an extent, but that's the case with any decent stereo headset. So I'm not too worried about that. I'm not 100% sure if it works the same way if you're using the TR2 Pro mix amp, because that does have a Dolby Digital input into that. Although I do know it's still running off a 3.5mm jack from the mix amp to the headset. I still know it's being output in a Dolby Digital format from your Xbox or PlayStation or your PC even to the mix amp, and then gone from there. That would be a little bit nicer, because it still has the base digital source from it, and I reckon that would probably have a little bit better quality of it. Probably wouldn't affect the actual surround sound effect of it much, but I don't know if these headsets support virtual surround sound in the case of the TR2 Pro with the actual Dolby Digital input. So I'm just going off my one. It does go with the stereo sound, which obviously has the minor surround sound effect to it, not just because it's left and right, but you can slightly tell a little bit when you're turning around. And yeah, it works pretty well. The music is pretty good. The music is pretty rich, especially I play a lot of Halo from the Master Chief Collection. So naturally, Marty O'Donnell did some absolutely amazing work, and the headset does it justice. Now, I usually use this headset when I'm playing games late at night. I have a surround sound setup, but naturally I can't use it all the time, especially late at night, so I switch over to the headset, and in those times it comes in really well. The music stands out. The music, as you'd expect from Halo, sounds fantastic. And just because of all that, the gunshots, the explosions, the sound effects, everything is really good, really crisp, and really clear as well. I'm a big fan of bass. I personally play on the middle preset for the equalization. So there's 3 of them. There's basically one is heavy on the treble, light on the bass. The other is kind of a mixed bag in between, which is the one I usually play on. And there's the one that favors heavy bass with slight treble. So even on the one I play on, you do get a good sense of bass. There's a good thump, or a good thud of, say, an explosion, a grenade going off, a flood just exploding when he bursts into all the small little ones, the infection forms. When you get that pump of a shotgun or anything like that, there's a real thud and there's a real weight behind it, and it's really nice because of that. And it also comes in really well too with all sorts of many different small light sound effects at the same time. Maybe you're surrounded by enemies, by multiple different types of enemies, and they all have their own individual sounds. They're all very, very easy to pick out their own little individual sounds, so you know which is which. They don't all get blurred together. They don't all get mashed up. They don't get lost over the others. They do a pretty damn good job of what's actually being represented pretty much around you. You can thank also some of the guys at Astro, because with the headsets that are actually designed to do this way, and the actual sound quality and sound engineering from, well, there's too many studios to mention involved in the Master Chief Collection. But yeah, you get the idea. It's not the only game I played, but it is the main game I played with this headset. So that's the bulk of my experience. Last thing I'm going to quickly move on to in this little video about this one is the versatility of the headset. The headset, like you saw at the start of the video, the M80 mix amp has the built-in 3.5mm jack cable. It also comes with a standard 3.5mm jack on each side that you can use for just general stereo devices. Now, I don't use this with the likes of my, I don't use this with my phone, I don't use this with an MP3 player or anything like that. What I do use this for a lot of the time lately, I found out, especially when testing all this out, is I've been playing a lot of Valkyria Chronicles 2 on my PSP. So I find myself with the headset on, the Astro A40 headset on, connected into my PSP because of the standard 3.5mm jack. And that comes in really well. The music in that game and the sound effects in the Valkyria Chronicles games are fantastic. And it gets across a nice sense of something that's lost on the tiny little PSP speakers. It's really nice, and the fact that it's so versatile, and it even includes the headset, that it can be used with anything with a 3.5mm jack, is just a great extra little boon. So you're basically getting a general headset that can be used for multiple a good quality headset that can be used for multiple things, multiple sources, not just specifically your Xbox One and the chat features on that. So overall, I think it's a pretty good buy, depending on what your budget is and your own threshold for, you know, how much is too much. But overall, I like the headset. I wasn't really interested in it too much, but the main reason I did buy it was because it was on such good value. It was on sale, and then I got my staff discount on top of it. So I ended up paying less than half price from what it was usually before the sale. So I couldn't turn it down at that point, and it was definitely worth it. I am going to get a lot of use out of this headset. Believe it or not, it's mostly going to be for non-Xbox related stuff. I think I'm going to have it a lot on my 3DS and my PSP. Obviously, I will have it for use on my actual Xbox One as well, because it's my late night headset essentially. So the main thing I'll do, as I mentioned earlier, is when it becomes too late to use my surround sound at night, when other people are in bed and things like that, I'll throw on the headset. Or maybe there'll be some other reasons where I can't think of any off the top of my head, but there might be some other reasons where I can't use my surround sound for some reason, or maybe I don't want to, and I'll just throw on the A40s and go from there. So overall, I'm pretty happy with the purchase. I don't do recommendations and all that as well. I would say try it out if you're interested in buying it. If you have any questions about it that I haven't answered or anything like that, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. And that's pretty much it. So other than that, let me know anything you wanted to know about this video. Did I answer it? Did I skip over it? Did I not answer it? Did I not bring it up? Let me know all of that in the comment section below. If you have Astros or experience with any Astros before, or just other headset brands that you want to talk about a little bit, feel free to throw all that my way in the comment section below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You can follow me on Twitter, details in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the rest of the videos in my channel, while this video has gone on for way too long.